Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm continuing on with the brand identity project that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks for a fictional brand. It's called Holly and Pine and they are a home decor blog. You can go back and watch any of the first videos, but basically I worked through designing a logo for them. And then I built out that visual identity and then developed a color palette and some alternate logo styles and some elements for the website. And then last week I did some YouTube intros because they are also wanting to expand and put out more videos on their YouTube channel. So today I thought I would just continue on with that YouTube theme and create some animated graphics for the videos. And so I will just play what I've already pre-recorded here. So what I decided to do was 3 different animated graphics: a search bar graphic, a subscribe, a like, subscribe, and the bell notification one, and then the last one is just like an Instagram account pop-up kind of a thing. So I had already gone and taken some screenshots of some search bars. On here 2 of these are from Google and then one of them is the search bar from YouTube, and I'm just recreating it as close as possible so I have some kind of graphic to work with. And then trying to get the colors as well as close as possible to those original colors, just to make it as realistic as possible. So just playing with the widths here, the line widths, and then just making them a little bit bigger so that I can use them on my keynote presentation. Oh, here I was. I took a screenshot of the actual Google just to see what it looked like compared to an actual screen, and then just had to make some adjustments. And then I also took some screenshots from YouTube of like the subscribe button and the thumb up kind of a graphic and the bell notification. So again, like I said in the previous video, when I was creating these graphics or creating these animations in Keynote, what I do beforehand is I prepare all of the graphics that I think I'm going to want to animate, and I will try and create them and save them separately so that I can give them different animations in Keynote once I'm there. So for this one, I kind of knew that I wanted to animate the thumbs up graphic, the button, the subscribe button, and then the bell separately. So that is why I am getting each of those ready. Alright, now that I have these mostly done, I just made them a little bit bigger so that the resolution is a little bit better when I get into Keynote. And then the last one that I wanted to do was this Instagram, like a follow me on Instagram kind of a graphic that a lot of YouTubers include in their videos. So, and for this one, I kind of wanted it to follow their branding. So that's why I pulled in the images from a couple of weeks ago with the color palette and those sidebar category buttons, because I kind of wanted to give it the same look. But other than that, it was just a lot of playing around because I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to say or how I wanted it to look. It's just moving things around and seeing if I liked it this way or another way. Right, so now that I have those done, I'm happy with how they turned out. At least I have something to work with in Keynote. It's time for me to actually open up the program and start getting some of the animations together. So I decided to kind of work with go from something that was pretty simple to something that was more complicated. So the first one that I decided to work on was the Instagram animated graphics. So I started out by pulling in all the different pieces. I saved one altogether, and then I saved the individual pieces separately because I knew that I wanted to animate the actual Instagram icon separate from that little bar that has the holly and pine home decor handle on it. And then I also have that other, like just the plain green rectangle, because I also wanted to try doing some text animation, which you'll see in a little bit. So this whole part is really just playing around and experimenting and previewing and then changing things up. I mean, that's all this is. I mean, you just playing with the timing, playing with the duration, just all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't look all that interesting. The way I recorded this screen, it doesn't actually show the little pop-up with the build order on it. But really, if it were to show up, it's just me like adjusting times, moving things around and stuff like that. So I'm just adding the blue screen because I have green in my graphic, and then exporting it as a movie. So here I am trying that second idea that I had mentioned. Again, I still wanted to stick to the branding in terms of keeping the font the same. And then I also copied in that same color, that light bluish gray color from the branding. I find that working in Keynote is just a lot of playing around and experimenting. Alright, and again that was done, so added the blue screen, exported it as a movie, and then it was ready to go. And then another kind of a design that I worked with was something that I did outside of that previous recording. This was another kind of a thought that I had. So here I am just kind of putting it all together. Again, I saved or brought in one complete I guess layout, and then I took apart each of the pieces, kind of knowing what I wanted to animate from the start. So I knew that I wanted to animate that green bar that I'm playing with right now, and then I wanted to do an animation with that bottom rectangle with a black outline. So that's why I saved them separately. And here I am doing my trick like I did in the last video, where I want it to slide down, but I didn't want it to slide across the entire screen. So I just put in that white rectangle and then moved that black outline box to the very back. So now it's just a matter of playing with the timing of how I wanted the different items to come in. And then also working on the transition to move it off the screen. Alright, and then again, I have to change this to a blue background because I have green in my actual graphic, and then save it out as a movie. So the next animated graphic that I wanted to do was this like a search bar kind of a thing. You know how sometimes you see people kind of typing out what they want to search in Google and stuff like that, and it shows them actually typing out what they want. Well, that's the kind of graphic that I wanted to make for this one. So I pulled in, same thing, the entire search bar as a whole, and then the two elements that were kind of separated. Although in the end I probably didn't need to do it that way, because the idea that I have, or that I had, I didn't end up doing. Originally my idea was to have it type and then do some kind of an animation with that magnifying glass, but I didn't end up doing it, so I probably didn't need to separate any of the elements, but that's okay. And again, just playing with the transition to get it on and off the screen. And then changing it to a green screen so that we can overlay it on some video footage. And then the last animation that I wanted to do, probably the most important one for anybody on YouTube, is that like, subscribe, and bell notification button. So I brought in all of these elements separately, as well as a couple of cursor icons that I had found online. So I kind of had an idea as to what I wanted in terms of just, you know, having the order be the change in that to the blue, and then moving on to the subscribe button, and then hitting that bell notification. So just playing with how I want things to appear and disappear, because this one has the challenge of making one element almost appear as if it's replacing the other one. So it was a little bit of a challenge, especially for the subscribe button, but I did make it work. This is another thing that was a little bit challenging, was trying to have, I didn't want that outline of the bell to appear when that button was still red, because if you notice on YouTube, the bell only shows up after you've hit the subscribe button. So I was trying to get that bell to appear after the button was pushed. And then of course when you're doing this, because you know you have the option to do a build-in, which is just how the graphic is going to show up on the screen, and then the action, which is what is your object doing on the screen, and then the build out, which is how to get it off the screen. So sometimes it was hard because when you do some of the move actions, you can't, and you do something else, you can't actually see that. So some of them were kind of best guesses, especially for this cursor part, but it was pretty close. It's kind of hard to see what I was doing right now, but it's just basically playing around with the order of things and the timing. And then I just changed it to a green screen once I had all that done, and then saved it as a movie. So in the end, I ended up with 3 different types of animated graphics. I have my 3 versions for the Instagram graphic, and I'll show those on top of the green screen and then on top of some actual footage. And then I also have my search bar animation, which I'll also show on the green screen, and some footage. I did make some changes after I recorded the actual design part of it, but it was pretty minor. And then the third one that I created, the most important probably, is that like, subscribe, and bell notification animation. And so again, this is another one that I kind of modified after the fact because when I tested out on some footage, I thought it might look better with a white rectangle behind the icon, so that's what I added to it. So here is the graphic on top of a green screen like it was designed, and then what it looks like on top of some actual footage. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are looking at any of these animations that I created and are thinking, oh my god, how do I get one of those for myself to use on videos? I'm probably going to put them up for sale somewhere. I don't know where yet, but when I do, I'll add the link to the description. So if there's no link in the description, it's because I haven't posted it yet, but you can always send me a message, write a comment, send me a message on Instagram, and I will let you know when it is up for sale. But until then, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.